Hi all, I want to preface this by saying I have read all the old threads from men asking similar questions, but the responses in those threads don't seem to be working for me. I, a 24-year-old male, have been dating my girlfriend, a 24-year-old female, for about a year and a half now. I love her. She's been great, and I'd say we have a healthy relationship. However, she has gained over 35 pounds since we started dating. Given her eating and exercise habits, there seems to be no end in sight to the weight gain. I go to the gym 5 to 6 days a week and have done so throughout our relationship and long before I met her. I'm only up 10 pounds because of planned bulk and cut cycles. My diet isn't the best, I will admit, but working out 2 hours a day has kept me in good shape. My girlfriend isn't consistent in the gym at all and lately has been making every excuse not to go. Additionally, she eats out 90% of the time. She is extremely picky. No beef, pork, or fish in any capacity, pretty much only chicken, and she won't eat chicken with bones. You can imagine what's left. I've recommended she cook her own meals, but her housing situation isn't great, and she says she can't cook because the kitchen is messed up despite her mother cooking all the time. She refuses to budge on this. I live with my parents, so I can't cook for her. My mother cooks every day. She usually likes my mother's food, but if my mother cooks fish or something she dislikes, it's straight to fast food restaurants. Then there's exercise. She hates it. She absolutely hates working out. She used to work in a hospital where she was on her feet and was consistent in the gym at that time. She looked great. However, 3 to 4 months ago she started an office job, and now that she sits all day, she has quit the gym. This is when her weight really started to increase. She has tried more than 5 times to start again, but keeps saying, okay, next week. God forbid I bring it up or try to be encouraging. When I encourage her to go to the gym, she responds, I do what I want. When I tell her she needs to eat better, she says, you stating the obvious isn't helping. When I suggest we go to the gym together, she doesn't want to. I have tried the subtle approach, trying to hold her accountable, suggesting healthier habits without directly addressing the issue, but it's not working and won't work. Honestly, she's still beautiful, but I'm worried for her health. I know I'm going to get hate for saying it, but I find it a little unfair that fitness is an integral part of my life and she has decided to let herself go already. I understand if this happened as we approach 30, but there's no reason for her to let it happen so early on. What turns me off the most is her approach to it all. Every time she looks in the mirror or at an old photo, she gets upset and says she needs to lose weight. Yet she does nothing to take action and gets offended if I bring anything up to help her situation. What do? I am treading lightly here. I don't want to hurt her feelings, but nothing is working. Is it time for a serious talk with her? Story 1. You are 24. You have been with this lady for 18 months. You have very different lifestyles. Just break up. Find someone who wants to be healthy, who wants to work out, who has fitness goals like you. The two of you are incompatible, and that is okay. Story 2. A classic lose-lose situation. You say nothing, and she continues on her path until you lose all attraction to her. Then, when you finally break up, she will ask why you did not say anything sooner. You tell her she needs to address the situation. You become an insensitive person who puts your own needs before her struggle. How could you be so unsupportive? You cannot help people who do not want to be helped. Story 3. You cannot do anything about it. It is all up to her. What you can do, though, is decide if you want to be with her as she is and accept her that way. If you cannot, you end it. Unconditional attraction is not realistic, and we are all allowed our preferences. Good luck. Story 4. This is a clash of priorities. Your dedication to exercise and her dislike of it do not make a good match. How can you devote that time to your body and not resent that she ignores hers? You need to end it. Even if you force her to go to the gym, it will lead to conflict. Suppose you get her there and she loses weight. 10 years down the road, do you want to still be fighting? Or will you have both given up? Let her go before you both hate each other. Story 5. I have seen this happen many times, and there is no easy solution. You are in a difficult situation for sure. No matter what you do or say, it will be taken the wrong way. I am not sure I can give any useful advice, So I will just say best of luck to you. You are not alone. Story 6. Going to give it straight. If this is going to be a problem and she is just your girlfriend, not spouse, then it is just not going to work between you two. It will not get better or change unless that is what she wants. I am married and my husband is similar. Does it drive me crazy? Yes. I love him and I do not care that he does not go to the gym, but it does drive me crazy that he can be picky and go straight to eating out even when I cook. Story 7. It sounds to me as though you two may not be a good match. Do you see a future with this woman? It sounds like you like home cooking and a healthy lifestyle. She won't cook and doesn't live clean. These are fundamental differences that are unlikely to change. What else doesn't match? Have you talked about children, marriage, and so on? Do her answers make you happy or make you think that will change? Right? At 24, it is time to start asking the hard questions. Story 8. This sounds like me. My husband helped me through it. I was being very healthy and exercising, then started an office job. I gained almost 40 pounds in 3 years. Does she have depression or any mental illness? If a serious talk will not get through to her, then there are bigger problems. She should be willing to hear your concerns since you are in a relationship. She will not change until she is ready, unfortunately. Maybe when her health starts to decline, she will take you seriously. Story 9. Losing weight and being fit are not just physical experiences. They are mental and emotional as well. Have you spoken with your girlfriend more with concern about how she is feeling emotionally? Often, gaining weight and reducing activity levels are external signs of unaddressed issues. I would talk with her about what happened at her hospital job that may have impacted her. I would ask what about the office job tends to be so draining day to day. If you want to stay, accept her answers, be honest that you want to help with her health, and only offer assistance with low-impact exercises like going on longer walks with her. If you cannot do that, breaking up may be the best option. Story 10. She could be depressed. Ask her. Talk to her. I do not know why men's first suggestion is always to break up. There are other options. Story 11. Her weight is increasing. She is either eating more or not exercising enough. If you mention either of those things, it will not go well for you. Find a physically strenuous activity that you both enjoy. Go for walks, hikes, rock climbing, or similar activities. The goal should not be, hey, I want you to lose weight. Instead, it should be, this is something I think we would both enjoy doing together. This might encourage her to realize, I'm not in as good shape as I used to be, but this makes me want to start working out again. Start by presenting it as a physical activity you want to do with her. Avoid framing it as, I want you to do this to lose weight. Focus entirely on, I love spending time with you, and I think we would enjoy this together. Get creative. Try outdoor yoga, a history walking tour, or other activities. She may reject some ideas, but you will likely find something she enjoys. This approach has a much better chance of introducing the idea positively, rather than making her feel bad. Even if you do not intend negativity, she might perceive it that way. Story 12. How about this? Babe, I'd really love to save some money and focus on something fun for us. I think we should stop eating out, and every time you want to eat out, we eat at home instead to save that money. Honestly, eating out is the issue here. Abs are made in the kitchen after all. Or you could just be direct. You're gaining weight, and I'm worried about your health. Fast food isn't good for us. Maybe we should cut back. Say we to soften the blow. Story 13. Woman here. I hated going to the gym until I found exercise classes. Begin doing exercise classes with her as a couple's activity. Spin class, Pilates, cycling. Story 14. Hey man, sorry to hear about this. This situation can be really frustrating but hard to talk about, and I fully resonate with you. It seems that deep down she does want to change, so you should leverage that if other solutions haven't worked. Perhaps in a really comfortable and cozy environment, bring up how you both value health, fitness, and diet, which are really important in a partner. You have seen that in her before, so you know she can do it. Maybe if you express that it is affecting not just her experience but yours in the relationship, she might approach it with a different mindset. In my opinion, if she pisses you off again, then maybe it's a sign to rethink the relationship, and if not, then great. Hope this helped and good luck. Story 15. It is not just about the weight. It could be that you are not aligned with what is important to you. Life is hard and only gets busier, requiring more effort and discipline. If you are running at different paces, over time you could drift further apart. Story 16. Honestly, if it bothers you and you get shot down when mentioning it and trying to be diplomatic, leaving must be considered. I have done it myself and it is difficult, but she is also disrespecting your feelings and concerns, not to mention your future and her own health. It is not insensitive to have standards and stick to them. Story 17. You said she had a change in job and then a change in lifestyle. She could be dealing with stress or depression. Maybe not. I do not know. There are legitimate reasons. She might also not be honest with herself about what is going on in her life or with her body. Story 18. It is a lifestyle choice. She is not maintaining the active lifestyle that attracted you to her. Tell her this and do some activities together. Story 19. Casually mention taking lunchtime or break time walks, ideally outdoors. This is great for mental health, and each step, even just walking, is another step toward health. Many people ease into running by first walking short distances, then half a mile, then over a mile, followed by jogging and then running. Take her to a proper running store to buy good running shoes for walking. Once you are jogging or running, you feel happy and confident and are more inclined to do other healthy things like eating well or going to the gym or both. I don't accept the excuse of being unable to cook for her. Just because your mom cooks for you doesn't mean you don't have access to a kitchen. Will she contribute to ingredients if you offer to make healthy lunches for work? Ultimately, it is her decision and her body. However, I understand that a lack of motivation is discouraging. If that is the real problem, consider looking for someone more motivated in general, not just appearance-wise. Good luck. Story 20. In the same way that a wealthy man expects a woman to stay if he loses a significant amount of money, a woman expects a man to stay and be supportive through the physical changes she will experience in her life. Hormones are a major factor affecting energy levels, depression, anxiety, and overall mind and body health. Transitioning from an active job to a sedentary position also has a significant impact. You may not realize the difference in calories consumed due to a career change. Even if she reduces her calories drastically, she may still gain weight. This can create a mindset of, if I'm going to gain weight anyway, then I am going to eat what I want. I am offering a different perspective. The more you criticize, the deeper she sinks into her slump. A woman wants to feel loved for who she is, not like an object that needs to look pretty on a shelf. Affirmation with love and support does more good than criticism and judgment. The path you are on now is a sexless relationship caused by damaging her self-esteem and possibly leading to a breakup. Instead of dinner dates, take her hiking. Visit different places where you can walk, explore, and enjoy the outdoors. Research waterfalls and trails in your area. Pack a healthy picnic for both of you. It always starts with small things. Tell her she is beautiful. If she refuses to be active at any time, there may be an underlying medical condition she has not addressed. She needs to see a doctor and get checked. Try this approach for 2 months and observe how your relationship changes. Avoid mentioning her eating or workout habits. Offer only full support and love. Story 21. Sometimes I see questions here, especially the ones regarding women, and I instantly think to myself, wrong subreddit, buddy. Why are you asking men to give you advice on how to handle a situation that requires a deeper understanding of the female psyche? Especially if you already looked for answers here and found none were helpful. As I read the comments as a woman, it is evident that, once again, you likely will not get a serious answer or sensible solution to your dilemma. Why not go straight to the source? The subreddit for asking women does exist. When it comes to a subject as delicate and tricky as a woman's body and how she is feeling about it as her partner, many men are famously clumsy when treading the very thin line between being helpful and hurtful. So, if you want real advice that might actually assist you in finding resolution, consider heading over to the women, most of whom are all too familiar with body image issues, and let their collective experience provide you with some insight on how to address those issues in a non-catastrophic manner. Story 22. I had this issue with my ex-wife. I lovingly told her I wanted a more active lifestyle and for us to eat healthy. She didn't get the hint, so I had to gently tell her that her weight was affecting my physical attraction to her. I am not talking about 10 pounds. I am talking about 50. It was horrible for me to be married to someone I was once attracted to, only to start feeling attracted to other women. And ladies, this goes both ways. If your man gained 50 pounds and that affected your attraction to him, you should definitely tell him. I would rather my partner tell me to lose weight than for me to stay overweight and her become attracted to other men. Story 23. I can tell you are trying your best to find a solution and obviously love her, but this comes down to a difference in core values. Coming from an older man who has been there and done most of it, you are not going to change her. You are very young and not married, so my advice is to simply break up with her, as cavalier as that may sound. You will find a match that is more aligned with what is important to you. Story 24. Some harsh answers here. Do you know what is going on with her? Is she well mentally? Could she be sliding into depression? Is anything eating away at her on the inside? It might be worth trying to find out. Working an office job can be harmful to some. Story 25. You can still cook for her if you really want to. Living with your mother is an excuse. I would, in fact, cook with her to show that cooking is not a chore but an essential part of a healthy lifestyle. Story 26. You already know the answer, friend. It is time for the conversation. If it is bothering you that much, then you need to have a mature discussion that will tell you everything you need to know about the future. Story 27. Be honest. Tell her you are concerned about her health and that watching her decline over the years is difficult. Offer to help, perhaps by improving her diet. You could prepare healthy meals together so she only needs to heat them. Ask if there is a reason she now avoids working out. You cannot address what you do not understand. In the end, she must make the decision. Avoid ultimatums. If you have tried everything else, consider leaving if you are unwilling to watch her health deteriorate. Story 28. How do you spend your time together? Do you do a lot of hanging around, watching television, and snacking? I ask because it is not uncommon to settle into a routine like this. If you lead a considerably more active lifestyle, it may not have a noticeable impact on you, but it can translate to weight gain for her. If she is not keen to exercise independently, then try adding more activities into your time together. Go hiking, bowling, or walking through the park. Anything really. It does not have to be a workout, but just something other than hanging out and consuming calories. Story 29. If she hates working out, and many people do, she needs to find other activities to stay somewhat active. If she didn't mind working out at the gym before, maybe her weight gain has made her self-conscious. There is a small chance she could work out at home in some ways. More likely, she needs a sport, walking, hiking, biking, or another physical activity she would enjoy doing regularly. My wife, a while back, gained a lot of weight. It didn't bother me much, but it did bother her. She started doing Zumba on the Wii. After losing quite a bit of weight, she eventually went to Zumba gym classes and ultimately became a Zumba and fitness instructor. She lost 140 pounds. Story 30. Male, 28 years old and married here. Many people reading your post are being superficial. The main thing that stands out is that you love her and her diet is making her unhealthy, which concerns you. This is understandable. No one wants to watch their partner become unhealthy. As someone who goes to the gym, you should know that 70 to 80% of weight loss or gain comes from diet. Only 20 to 30% comes from exercise, and that does not have to be gym workouts, especially if she doesn't enjoy them. Can be as simple as a daily walk around the block. Frequent takeout is generally not healthy, so the conversation you should have with your girlfriend is about that and your concern for her health, not her appearance. Consider doing fun date activities that involve walking, or suggest walking to nearby places instead of driving or using public transportation. You said you love her, so have a mature conversation with her from a place of love about how often she eats takeout. This will also affect both of you financially. Since she's a picky eater, write down her favorite foods and find fun, healthy, and easy ways to cook meals using them. Artificial intelligence tools are free and easy to use for recipe ideas. If you speak from a place of care and explain that you worry her diet is affecting her health, she will appreciate it. She will only be defensive if you focus on her physical appearance. Wouldn't you be if someone did that? Love your partner for who they are, not what the scale says. The same applies to you. Remember, you can lead a horse to water but cannot make it drink. Encourage and work as a team. If you truly love this woman, you will want to spend the rest of your lives together. You will be best friends, so treat her as one. Be patient and supportive. Set a time to check in with yourself after all this. If things are still not comfortable, have a conversation about the future of the relationship. You don't want to watch the person you love hurt themselves and become unhealthy. You want them to be happy. Ultimately, it's her body and decision. All you can do is be there, talk about things that might be bothering her, be supportive, and when she talks, listen. Really listen and ask follow-up questions to understand why. Have fun, be happy, and enjoy your life together as much as possible. Story 31. If you spend 6 days a week at the gym for 2 hours and she dislikes the gym, this might indicate a basic incompatibility. Low body mass index seems very important to you, but it is not important to everyone. Those advising you to break up because she is overweight should reconsider. However, if you care deeply about things that she does not, breaking up might be the best option. Story 32. I suggest a fun exercise, like rollerblading or biking. Not everyone enjoys going to the gym at all stages of their life. Maybe she got tired of it and needs something new. Story 33. If her physical body is your main attraction to her, listen up. Bodies change. People lose limbs, get cancer, weight goes up and comes down. If your only concern is physical attraction, I would say move on. You both deserve something better. If not, stop asking or focusing on that. Most people change because they want to. Plot twist. Maybe she is unhappy in the relationship and does not care if you break up. Story 34. I think the answer is pretty obvious at this point, especially since you have said you have tried all the usual methods of getting her to change. You two might just not be compatible. From previous relationship experience, she may have some mild depression that is keeping her stuck in this cycle of being unhappy with herself, her body, and eating out for the quick serotonin boost. She needs something to change drastically, and often that change is a breakup. Story 35. I do not think your values align regarding lifestyle habits and fitness. If you do not respect her because of that, you should probably not be together. Story 36. Do you love her or her appearance? Say that you are planning to live a healthy lifestyle and you want her to do it with you. Reading these comments makes me lose faith in men. Story 37. It seems like she is hopeless and lazy. If you have children, it may get worse and she might gain more weight. Physical attraction in a long-term relationship is very important. Keep that in mind. You may find yourself attracted to other women quickly and become more disappointed in your relationship. Do not settle with her. You are young and may regret staying if she does not make healthier decisions. Have an honest talk with her. Tell her you are concerned about her health and give her some time to change her habits. Lastly, I would not put a ring on her finger anytime soon. Story 38. There might be an emotional reason for her destructive behavior that she is not even aware of herself, such as emotional eating. Maybe talk to her and see if something is making her unhappy. Otherwise, it might be time to move on. Story 39. Hypothyroidism may be a concern. 15 pounds over a year could be a result of lifestyle choices, but it is also worth prompting her to get some blood work done. Story 40. I have experienced the same situation over an 8-year relationship and have accepted that I will be happy with whatever makes my partner happy. Story 41. If she does not want to go to the gym, I understand. Just suggest walks, long walks everywhere, and hiking. Say it is good to get fresh air and sunshine, and keep increasing the length of the hikes. Present it as something else like long walks. Go for hikes. Story 42. Sit down with her and have a serious conversation. Explain how fitness is very important to you and what you want in a partner. Make it very clear that change needs to happen and that you are willing to help her. If she refuses, it is time to move on. Story 43. Maybe you can schedule a pickleball lesson for the two of you or go to a park for a nice walk. Bikes are an option too. There are ways to be active without going to the gym. If she complains all the time, tell her you think she's beautiful and that you want to help by following her lead. She needs to change for herself, or you may need to find someone more aligned with your values. Before you do, check in with her mental health. Her current lifestyle and the resulting weight may be sending her into a spiral, so you want to approach the situation with love and concern. Try having a direct, meaningful conversation to understand what's bothering her and how she thinks you can help. Story 44. Try finding new activities like pickleball that do not seem too demanding but are fun and social. You can burn 400 calories an hour without realizing it. Go for normal walks together every day, not power walks. The key is consistency. Even half an hour a day makes a massive difference over a few months. If you love her, stop worrying about the weight and focus on her. Often, people stress eat when they feel a lack of connection. Be supportive, loving, and present. Incorporate a few fun activities like walks, which can be romantic. If you have been together for a year and a half, be loving, and over time things will change. Do not push. If you do this, she will appreciate you more and love you even more. Story 45. Let's be honest, this is only going to end with a breakup, and you will be the bad person to her and everyone in her circle. You can put it off as long as you like, but that is where it will end. Story 46. 80% of health begins in the kitchen. Consider suggesting that you cook together more often. Prepare real food, not processed products. Monitor carbohydrate intake. Eating out frequently can have negative effects over time. Also, suggest walking 10,000 steps daily together. Story 47. To be honest, unless you find a hobby that involves some exercise you can do together, it will be difficult. Maybe try getting her interested in going on hikes or biking. Exercise is like quitting smoking, you have to want to do it yourself. No amount of complaining or convincing about how good it is will help. This is coming from a smoker and someone who doesn't exercise. If she lives at home, I can only imagine how hard it would be for her to want to exercise on her own while managing work and her living space. Story 48. She has to change because she wants to change. Based on the state of things today, you have no right to judge her body, and it is her decision. Leave her alone, and hopefully, you will later date someone who aligns better with you. Story 49. I understand if it happened as we approached 30. As someone in my 30s, why would you do me dirty like that? Try taking half an hour out of your routine and spend it on a nice long walk with your girlfriend. Or go for a hike with her. Quality time with her while she is easing into fitness habits. If priorities continue to shift apart between you, then you should move on from each other. No judgment. Dating is for finding someone compatible. Story 50. Walking consistently is the easiest way to lose weight. Have you tried going on walks together instead of constantly going to the gym? Story 51. As a woman, I know you did not ask women, but it is very common for women to gain weight when they are unhappy. This could be caused by many factors, including your relationship. Based on what you have said, she has no desire to adjust or change anything that may have led to this. Your empathetic approach is admirable, but it will not last forever as you already have tons of resentment in your post. If this is unattractive to you, either physically or emotionally, save both of you time and end it. You are both young. You will both meet other people. Happiness will be found. Story 52. Hey, real quick. I am 20 years older than you, so please understand I am coming from a place of life experience. She needs help. She sounds like she needs therapy. There may be some depression involved, but she needs support. If you see a future with this girl, I would approach it with compassion and express that you feel she is making choices that are leading her into a vicious cycle. Make no comment about her body or physical appearance, only about her choices, and see what she says. If you genuinely do not think this is the girl for you, I would end the relationship and wish her well. Story 53. Let he who is without sin cast the first stone. I used to criticize my wife about her weight, and she complained about how much I drank. After years of fighting and resentment, we eventually called a truce. We are both happier than we were, and for what it is worth, she has lost the excess weight, and I seldom drink and never too much. I regret the time we wasted being mad at each other. Story 54. Is she depressed? It sounds like classic depression. How about yoga classes together or even just walks? Story 55. I haven't read every comment, but so far I haven't seen anyone mention having her talk to her doctor. Before I met my wife, she gained 50 pounds in a year after college. She went to her doctor, and it turned out she has polycystic ovary syndrome and her hormones were all out of balance. If it is not medically related, then you need to have a conversation with her and give her the opportunity to change. If she does not, then you need to decide if she is the right one for you. Story 56. Wow. The toxic masculinity in this thread is astonishing. I love to watch the undoing of the male species in real time. Story 57. Okay, the real question is how much did she weigh before and how much does she weigh now? My wife has gained probably around the same amount of weight since we met, and she looks better now than she did when we first started dating. You sound a little shallow, to be honest. Story 58. So, she is who she is. It is not right to try to change her. If you can love her as someone who does not prioritize fitness and health, then just do that and let the chips fall where they may. If not, then you are just not a good match. Do not shame her for being who she is. You have learned that being fit is a priority for you and your partner, although I will warn you that life sometimes intervenes with things like children. Story 59. Actual answer instead of deal with it or break up. Ask her if she is okay. People who deflect this much could have an underlying cause. Show that you care for her. Ask if anything is happening or if she feels one way or another. If she asks why you are asking, tell her that you are worried about the patterns you are seeing. Story 60. You are 24 years old and in your prime. End the relationship and find a woman who goes to the gym. There is no positive outcome in this situation. Story 61. It is a heavy burden to carry on your shoulders, brother. If you are not in the same lane, find a different road to travel. Story 62. She is not holding herself accountable. Of all the things we have control over in our lives, our weight is one of the few we can actually work on. I do not know what the best course of action is, as an intervention might strike a nerve and she may never recover. Maybe suggest an evening stroll once a week, then increase it to every other day until she sees the benefits of adding movement to her sedentary job. This could inspire her to be more active. Best of luck. Story 63. A lot of the men here are giving really scary advice. As a woman going through my own weight loss journey, I kind of understand her. I went from a very mobile and active job to being a receptionist, and it was a very jarring transition. From being on my feet 8.5 hours a day and constantly moving heavy items to only getting up when I needed to use the printer or go to the bathroom. I also had a lot of back and forth in the gym before I was ready to fully commit to it. For some people, it's a hard personal battle with discipline. You can't force someone to discipline themselves with the gym. They have to want to go on their own, and sometimes it takes multiple attempts for it to click. From the sounds of your post, it feels like you're coming off pushy and it's clearly annoying to her. Have you considered there might be something going on in her life that's driving her to eat this way? 35+ pounds in a year is significant, so maybe have a conversation asking her if she's stressed out by something. You mentioned in your post that her housing situation isn't great to the point where she's not using her kitchen. Try asking her if everything is going okay at home or with her mentally and if there's anything you can do to help. Constantly badgering someone isn't the way to get them to want to change. Sometimes it has the opposite effect and makes them commit to not doing it more. If you love her and can see yourself being in a long-term relationship with her, you should have a heart-to-heart conversation and tell her you're worried about her sudden change. What helped in my relationship was my boyfriend encouraging me no matter what decision I made. While he couldn't help me discipline myself, he would motivate me in small ways. He would encourage me every time I decided to go to the gym, sending me texts saying, "Good job, baby. I'm so proud of you," meant a lot to me. If I missed a day, he would say, "It's okay. There's always tomorrow. Just make sure not to fall off." He never overanalyzed my plate because when he was growing up, his parents did that to him a lot, and it led to him having self-esteem issues and an eating disorder. Instead, He helped me make better decisions for myself, like prioritizing vegetables and proteins over sweets, but not cutting them out entirely. When I told him I was intimidated by the gym at first, we started going on walks together weekly, getting in around 15,000 steps. That really gave me the head start I needed because it didn't even feel like exercise. It just felt like spending quality time with my boyfriend and enjoying some nice scenery. Sorry, this is so long. Story 64. I am not a man, but I was married to one for 20 years. He was very particular about my weight and shamed me constantly. Our children witnessed this as well. If you are not willing to love a bigger woman and only seek to destroy her self-esteem, then you need to walk away. Find a genetically thin woman. It is men like you who are helping women realize that we are better off without you. Story 65. It seems like you don't share the same values. You place much more importance on weight and observable fitness than she does. You can't force her to care about the things you care about. If I were her, for example, I might be complaining about my partner spending 2 hours every day at the gym and living with his parents, the obsession with physical fitness and appearances, the lack of measurable ambition at 24, and nothing to show for it except a fit body. Maybe a fit body isn't what she cares about. Story 66. You are dating someone who behaves like a child. Sometimes the best thing you can do is quit. Story 67. Is it time for a sit-down talk with her? Yes, but based on the information you have shared, I expect this to get worse. Around age 23 is when many people finish college and lose a lot of structure in life. If they do not choose to prioritize diet and exercise, they will gain a significant amount of weight. It is much harder to change that trajectory later than to set it on the right path from the beginning, but it is not impossible. Story 68. These are the kinds of situations that make or break you as an adult. Ignore this now, and 10 years later the problem is 100 times worse, and you may end up having a child together. Rather than being vain or condescending, you could say, I feel like we could really have a life together, and that life would be active, adventurous, fun, and satisfying. I'm concerned that the job you have now isn't aligned with your goals, hopes, and dreams. I hope you recognize that, and I'm here to help in any way I can. I know that previously you said you'd rather not discuss it, and after this conversation, I will leave it alone. Just know, I may, in the future, make decisions that align with my goals, hopes, and dreams, and I hope you understand that. Ask any man in his 40s what he would change about the past, and the answer is productive confrontation, addressing issues and making good decisions. Story 69. Guess it's up to her at this point. There is nothing you can do but keep telling her you want her to be healthy and happy. Breaking up could be a consequence, which is a bit harsh. Health problems are also a possibility. That might take some time and is not fun at all. It will also take a long time to fix again. Hopefully, she sees the light pretty soon. It is better to prevent the consequences. That has to be her own plan, though. There is nothing you can do but be supportive in wanting her to be healthy and happy. Story 70. This would be akin to suddenly deciding to stop taking care of yourself, stop working, and stop putting effort into the relationship. It is grounds for a breakup. Either she changes her ways, fights for the relationship, and improves her own health, or she does not and you leave a one-sided relationship. You have clearly given her plenty of opportunities to resolve this, and she has no interest in doing so because there are no consequences to her actions right now and seemingly her health is not a concern for her in the future. Story 71. I am going to be honest here. It just sounds like you two are not compatible. She does not want to change to be compatible, and you do not either. The only solution that is fair to everyone is to end it. Story 72. I think the question you need to ask her is, how are you doing? I only ask because the impression I get is that you are unhappy and may be using food to compensate. Is there anything I can do to help you with your goals? I love you and you are great no matter the weight, as long as you are happy, but it doesn't seem like you are. If that is the case, you have my support in whatever form that looks like for you. If she says she is great, then give her some time to change if she wants. If not, tell her that healthy choices are part of your core values, and if it is not one of hers, that is fine, but it is something you value and prioritize in a future partner. Story 73. You could consider new fitness hobbies together, such as joining a boxing gym, Orange Theory, or hot yoga. Take the lead in promoting a healthy lifestyle for both of you while bonding through shared activities. You might find something she truly enjoys. However, her attitude and tendency towards exercise may make it challenging. If she has no interest in a healthy lifestyle alongside you, then, story 74, just say you're not attracted to her anymore like you already are and be done with it. We can already tell that's what it is, so tell her that. Maybe there's an underlying factor as to why she won't work out. I'm not saying a health reason either. I'm saying maybe there's depression or something else going on. Maybe she's unhappy with something. I don't know. I'm not in your life, but who knows? Have you sat down and had a serious chat with her about this? It doesn't sound like you have. It sounds like you've done everything else and it's not working out, so it sounds like it's time to do that. Sincerely, a woman who was once stuck in a very toxic and abusive situation and didn't realize her weight went very high until it was over and I had escaped. I knew I was overweight, but I didn't realize how bad it was until I finally got rid of the dead weight. Then I realized how bad it really was. Story 75. Sounds like you have some eating habits to improve too. You could both try a healthy plan together. But ultimately, your values and lifestyles may be too different. She may just be that way and you are not. So, is this worth continuing knowing you value different things? Story 76. The alarm for her getting bigger is that she is heading into ill health later in life. She needs to take a break on it now. I suggest she comes to the gym with you, and perhaps you try some healthy treats together. If she continues to gain weight, then she needs to find somebody who shares the same joys in life, and you need to find somebody who suits you better. Story 77. If she is holding you back from the lifestyle you want, then it is time to make a change. Clearly, dining out is contributing to the fact that you cannot afford to move out of your parents' house. Set a goal of moving out, establish a budget to get there with her, and when she is not willing to give up fast food, you are not breaking up with her because of her weight. Her decisions conflict with the goals you want in life. No amount of gym time can burn the calories from fast food sandwiches and fries. You should not get in the habit of leaving a partner for just body changes. Someday your future wife will likely gain weight, and that is part of the deal you sign up for. Story 78. This is one of those things you realize are important. At a certain point, I knew I couldn't date a picky eater because it annoys me. People who only eat chicken tenders bother me because, first, how is that your main food group, and second, you can't take them anywhere. They say every restaurant has chicken tenders. No, we go somewhere that has chicken tenders on the menu for you. If you're determined to stay with her, try helping make grilled tenders at home so she can control how they're made, and maybe swap them for sweet potato fries. It's like with little kids making sure they have healthy alternatives. That's my only advice for you. Story 79. My big question is, how is her mental health? Could this weight gain be caused by something other than an inactive lifestyle? Story 80. Then tell her you are worried about her health. Ask her to get a checkup. If it comes back that she is only gaining weight because she is lazy, you can leave. If it is something else, then you will have a decision to make. Story 81. You are not compatible. Different value systems, exercise routines, diets, and so on. End the relationship so she can find someone who values her for who she is, not what the scale says. Story 82. If I were in your situation, I would use one of those moments when she says she wants to lose weight to open the conversation. Focus on health and the future. Go as far as mentioning that she is losing you. Be honest and straightforward but not harsh. Story 83. I'll start by going on active dates like hikes, rock climbing, and pickleball. Don't frame it as a workout or losing weight. At the end of the day, if she doesn't change because your level of activity greatly differs, it's best to find someone who shares the same mindset. Story 84. Just tease her and say there is a cute girl at the gym. She will start going with you. In all seriousness, it is time to have a talk with her. Do not focus on weight. Focus on health. Let her know you care about her and do not want her to have health issues in the future. Make working out fun for her. She obviously sees it as a chore. Take her to different types of restaurants for a date night. Order various healthy foods and ask her to try a bite. This is a tough situation, But remember, there always has to be compromise. Be careful about which battles you choose with her. Good luck. You have this. Story 85. Weight loss prescriptions are effective and valuable for health reasons. They do not address other issues. Story 86. Find an active hobby you both can do together. Hike, golf, kayak, mountain biking, boxing, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. She doesn't like the gym, so help her find something she genuinely enjoys. Do that together and you will unlock future gift ideas, date ideas, and trips. Don't make it about health, fitness, or looks. Just make it about wanting to do a fun activity together and include her in something you both enjoy doing. Story 87. You understand if it happened as you approach 30? Sorry, no excuses for either person in a relationship to let themselves go. That is unacceptable. There are many red flags. Gaining weight, poor attitude, cannot or will not learn to cook. Run for your life, do not look back. If you do not, at least screenshot my response when you are regretting your decision 5 years from now. Story 88. As a woman, perhaps she is going vegetarian. I only eat chicken and some fish. That said, you really need to break up. You want a girl to look good on your arm. No judgment, but she is not the one. There are some men who like bigger women, but you are not one of them. Story 89. I do not understand people dating for such long periods without getting engaged or married. As others have noted, this is not very respectful of you, and there is no telling what else may be going on. If the tables were turned, women would surely be telling other women to leave the man. So do the same. Story 90. Sorry, original poster, but you have to break up. There are too many things you do not agree with, and you cannot expect to change them. It sounds like a hassle, especially with the lack of food variety. Story 91. Fitness is a very self-motivating activity. There is nothing you could say to her to change her mind. She would have to become disgusted with herself to change. She is 24 years old. This will not end well based on what I am hearing. Story 92. It sounds like you have different priorities and are likely incompatible in the long term. Move on so you can both find someone more suited. Story 93. Words do not hold people accountable. Feelings do not hold people accountable. Sometimes the threat of consequences holds people with shame accountable. Consequences hold those without shame accountable. Story 94. End the relationship or you will end up resenting yourself. If you bring it up, she probably will not take it well and then blame you. Story 95. It would be helpful to know the starting weight and current weight we are discussing to better understand the seriousness of the situation. If it is a problem for you, most people agree that ending the relationship is the best option, as overthinking it can cause resentment that affects other aspects of the relationship. That being said, I have experienced this multiple times. It is something that happens when two people get comfortable with each other and one partner is able to relax. I have never directly addressed it, but have expressed that I want my partner to be comfortable when they brought it up. It has happened to me 3 times, and twice my partners eventually took steps to address it. The person I am with now, whom I am marrying, is one of those individuals. I am very proud of her, and it would not have stopped me from proposing regardless. I am sharing this experience to relate to you, not to imply it directly affected me. Story 96. I'm sorry, babe. I love you, but our lifestyle differences are too far apart for me. I am your friend always, but I am moving on romantically. Heads up, she will probably lose the 35 pounds in just a few months after you leave, but will gain it back when she is comfortable again. As others have said, unless she makes changes for herself, there is nothing you can do. Story 97. Honestly, I say sit her down and say her unhealthy habits are a turnoff. How she responds to that tells you everything you need to know, to be honest. After saying that, maybe have a bit of a shift in energy. Possibly she will feel that and start to want to change some of her habits. Story 98. From what she says, you stating the obvious isn't helping tells me everything about her situation. She knows that what she is doing is bad. She knows that she has led her life off track, and despite acknowledging it, she willingly continues doing it anyway. No matter how much help and talking you do with a person with this mindset, It will not change because she already knows it is bad. She just chooses not to do what she already knows is right. The change needs to come from her. Story 99. I believe the issue is not even weight or health. This is really her individual choice. The problem is that your girlfriend is not flexible or even listening to your advice. If she doesn't care about something as simple but important as taking care of her health and doesn't listen to you, imagine other things and responsibilities. Imagine what a marriage would be like with her having attitudes like that. It's important to think about this when deciding whether it's worth continuing. If you threaten or break up just because of this problem you brought up, she may even change, but only for you. It won't take long for her to return to her old habits. Story 100. Relationship goals. Go to the gym together, go hiking, ride bicycles, or run together. Show her a video of how other couples do that. Story 101. Honestly, the part that concerns me more is the food pickiness and zero interest in fixing it. If you are very selective about your diet and you are 24 years old, it is well past time that you learn to cook for yourself so that everything is how you like it. She seems to be actively resisting that. It sounds to me like some kind of self-sabotage or learned helplessness, so she has an excuse for her deteriorating health. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.